Okay, folks, today you're going to learn the vocabulary of multiplication. Get out your notebooks and make the 3 columns like we've practiced. Our first word is factors. Remember, you can stop the video to take notes. Pause it and take your time. Factors, the numbers multiplied together to find a product. If you look over in the examples, 3 times 6, both 3 and 6 are factors. We multiply them together to get the product, the answer to a multiplication problem, which is 18. So again, factors, the numbers multiplied together to find a product. Array. Array is a way of displaying objects in rows and columns that represent factors. So here in the example, we have the factors 2 and 6. 2 times 6 equals 12. What we did is we put them in columns of 2 or rows of 6. So right now we have 2 rows of 6. 2 times 6. Here are some more examples of arrays. We have 2 times 3, 4 times 3, 4 rows of 3 columns. We have 6 times 2 and 2 times 4. It's 8. Notice how they're shown using rows and columns. Now it's your turn. You're going to make these factors into arrays. 6 times 5. I want you to try to draw 6 times 5 in arrays, just like we practiced. Feel free to rewind if you need to look at the examples. Did you get something that looked like this? Or objects that were lined up like this? Great job. Okay, now let's look at 4 times 4. Draw it out in your notebook. Did you draw something like this? Did you draw 16 objects in 4 rows and 4 columns? If you did, great job. You're starting to understand arrays. We're going to do a lot of hands-on activities with this over the next week, so you're going to get the hang of it, I promise. Our next word is product. Product is the answer to a multiplication problem. The answer to a multiplication problem is the product. If you see here, 3 times 6 equals 18. 18 is the product. Your next word is multiple. The product of any 2 whole numbers is a multiple. So here I've listed some of the multiples of 2. 2 times 1 equals 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 2 times 3 equals 6. 2 times 4 equals 8. That means that 2, 4, 6, and 8 are all multiples of 2. The next definition, identity property of multiplication. The product of any number and 1 is that number. In other words, it keeps its own identity. So 5, if I take 5 and I multiply it by 1, oops, that's supposed to be an equal sign, I still get 5. If I take 6 and I multiply it by 1, 6 keeps its own identity. It remains 6. 25 times 1 stays 25. 19 times 1 stays 19. So it keeps its identity. The identity of that number does not change. Okay. Your next word for tonight, or your next definition for tonight, is commutative property of multiplication. Now, we talked about commutative property with addition. It's the same thing, only now we're talking about multiplication. It still means that numbers can be multiplied in any order, and the product remains the same, just like we talked about in addition, where we can add numbers in any order, and the sum remains the same. It's the same concept. We've just moved on to multiplication. So some examples. 5 times 6 equals 30, but 6 times 5 also equals 30. 3 times 2 equals 6, and 2 times 3 equals 6. Really doesn't make any difference that we switched the order. 4 times 2 equals 8, and 2 times 4 equals 8. Order does not matter in commutative property. Okay, I hope you got all those notes down. I'll see you tomorrow, where we're going to work on these definitions and some hands-on array assignments. Okay, happy math dreams. I'll see you tomorrow.